A human turns off the kitchen light at 2 a.m., then walks upstairs slightly faster than normal. Not running, not panicking, but definitely not relaxed either, and almost everyone does this. Adults do it. Children do it. Even people who know there is absolutely nothing in the dark still feel their bodies tense the moment the lights disappear. Some people sleep with TVs on. Some leave hallway lights glowing faintly through the night. Some stare into dark rooms and suddenly imagine movement that is not there. And the strange part is, humans know darkness itself is harmless. Darkness cannot touch you. It cannot chase you. It cannot think. But the human nervous system reacts to darkness as if something dangerous might suddenly emerge from it. And that reaction is ancient. Because for most of human history, darkness did not mean bedtime. Darkness meant uncertainty. And uncertainty was where humans died. Thousands of years ago, when a campfire began to fade at night, the world outside became almost impossible to read. Predators could see better than humans. Forests became invisible. Distances disappeared. And the human brain learned something terrifying very early in its evolution. If you cannot see danger, that does not mean danger is absent. And this is where things become strange. Humans are actually very bad at existing in darkness compared to many other animals. Cats can navigate with extraordinary night vision. Wolves evolved to hunt in low light. Owls can detect movement in near total darkness. Humans cannot do any of this. Human vision depends heavily on light. Remove enough light, and the brain starts losing reliable information about the environment. But the human brain hates missing information. So instead of becoming calm, it becomes predictive. That shadow in the hallway suddenly looks like a figure. A jacket hanging on a chair becomes a person standing still. A tiny sound downstairs suddenly feels important. And evolution encouraged this behavior, because false alarms were safer than missed threats. Mistaking a branch for a predator wastes energy. Mistaking a predator for a branch ends your bloodline forever. So over thousands of generations, the human brain evolved to prioritize survival over accuracy. And that changes everything. Because fear in darkness is not really irrational. It is actually the brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. Modern humans often think fear is a flaw. But many ancient humans survived specifically because they were paranoid enough to imagine danger before it fully appeared. In a strange way, the people who feared the darkness most were often the ones who lived long enough to have children. And you can still see those ancient instincts everywhere in modern life. A child hears a sound downstairs at night and freezes instantly. An adult checks behind the shower curtain without even thinking about it. Someone lying in bed suddenly feels uncomfortable after hearing silence settle across the house. Rationally, none of this makes sense. But emotionally, the body reacts first. Because the nervous system evolved in a world where nighttime isolation was genuinely dangerous. Humans are social animals partly because isolation made survival harder. A lone human at night was vulnerable. One person cannot watch every direction at once. One person cannot stay awake forever. But groups could survive the dark together. And this may explain something else humans rarely think about. Why darkness feels worse when you are alone. A dark room with another person nearby often feels safe. The exact same room alone can suddenly feel threatening. The environment did not change. Your biology did. And over time, humans began building entire systems designed to fight this fear. Campfires became emotional centers of safety. Villages clustered together tightly at night. Torches lined paths. Then came candles. Then electricity. Then glowing cities visible from space. But here's the unsettling part. Civilization may partially function as anti-darkness technology. Humans did not simply invent lights for convenience. Humans built enormous illuminated worlds because the human nervous system never fully stopped fearing what exists beyond visibility. And maybe that is why nighttime changes human emotions so dramatically. During the day, the brain is flooded with information. Cars moving, phones buzzing, conversations, sunlight. Movement everywhere. But at night, much of that disappears. The world becomes quieter, slower, MTA, and suddenly the brain turns inward. That is why thoughts often become stranger at 2 a.m. Problems feel larger. Memories become heavier. Anxiety becomes louder. People stare at ceilings replaying conversations from years ago. Tiny uncertainties suddenly feel catastrophic. And the strange thing is, this may not just be emotional weakness. It may be ancient biology. Because sleep itself is an incredibly vulnerable state. Sleeping humans are unconscious, slower to react, and physically defenseless. In the ancient world, falling asleep safely often depended on other humans nearby maintaining security around the group, which may explain why complete silence at night sometimes feels uncomfortable. Many humans instinctively prefer background noise, a television, rain sounds, a fan humming softly in the corner of the room. Total silence forces the brain to monitor every tiny sound more intensely. And once the brain enters uncertainty mode, imagination starts filling the gaps. That feeling of being watched in darkness may actually be the brain simulating possible threats before they appear. Not because humans are broken, but because ancient survival systems are still running beneath modern life. And humans constantly create emotional defenses against this without realizing it. People sleep beside partners, children hold blankets tightly, dogs curl up near beds. Phones remain within arm's reach through the night. Entire cities glow endlessly against the darkness. Humans surround themselves with signals of safety, and dogs are especially fascinating here, because humans often feel calmer sleeping near them. Even hearing a dog breathing softly nearby can reduce anxiety at night, which is strange when you think about it. Humans trust another nervous system to help them feel safe while unconscious, and this connection may go back thousands of years. Early humans and wolves likely benefited from each other's senses at night. Wolves detected movement and sound better than humans. Humans provided fire, food, and protection. Over time, humans may have emotionally bonded with dogs partly because they reduced nighttime vulnerability, and that emotional pattern still exists today. A dog sleeping beside a bed is not just companionship. Somewhere deep inside the nervous system, it may still register as protection. But the larger realization is even stranger. Humans rarely experience true darkness anymore. Modern life constantly shields the brain from it. Streetlights erase shadows. Screens glow all night. Cities hum endlessly with noise and motion. Humans created a world where darkness almost never fully arrives, because deep down, the nervous system still remembers what darkness once meant. And maybe the real fear was never darkness itself. Darkness is only the trigger. The real fear is uncertainty. Humans are deeply uncomfortable when they cannot fully detect what surrounds them. Because for millions of years, uncertainty carried consequences. Something could be hiding beyond the trees. Something could approach while you slept. Something could move silently outside the circle of firelight, and the human nervous system adapted to survive that reality. Which means modern humans are carrying ancient biological software designed for a completely different world. A world of predators, storms, isolation, and vulnerable nights under open skies. And every now and then, usually late at night, modern civilization becomes quiet enough for that ancient system to reappear. A person stands alone in a dark hallway and suddenly feels uneasy for no obvious reason. Someone walks slightly faster after turning off the lights downstairs. Someone sleeps better hearing another living creature nearby. These behaviors seem small, almost silly, but they are echoes from a much older version of humanity. And that may be the strangest part of all. Beneath the glowing cities, beneath locked doors and electric lights and modern life, the human nervous system still remembers the darkness.